Oh wow, that was the first time that I was able to use that little side click button to immediately open up the phone and start recording, and that was really convenient right there. Hey, what's going on? Good morning. It is Wednesday morning, start of a new day, start of a new video here, and trying to finish up a small little interior job that we began yesterday. Did not show anything from this job. Just didn't work out where I was able to film with a roommate of the customer being all up in the way. But yesterday was certainly not a good day. With some of these jobs, I like to believe I've gotten better with bidding work. I really have. But it's different strokes for different folks, and every job is going to be different. I knew this job was going to be on the lower end of the price point with what we had here. It was a condo, not that great of a condo. You know, I knew money was going to be tight on this, and I had to give the customer the best possible price that I could, where I could also still see a decent enough profit. And that's what I feel like I did. Sorry, that was Gene texting me, and wait till I tell you about Gene. But saying all that I've been saying, this was a cheap job. Still was a good possibility to see a decent enough profit, but everything has to go right with this. And if it doesn't, well, that's going to eat into the profit. So to say that yesterday did not go great, well, it couldn't have gone too much worse than it ended up going. Now, that's not to say that we didn't get things done. However, we certainly didn't get as far as I would have liked to have gotten, but I'm not tripping on this because these are the situations that you put yourself in. We had to do 4 bifold doors on this job, install them, go get them in the rain. First issue was the doors ended up getting wet. So we're trying to dry off the doors before the water stains turn into water damage. So that was the first situation. The second situation was, as we're trying to install the doors, the first door that we try to install, we realize it does not have the right hardware. 2 of the doors have a certain type of hardware, and then 2 of the doors have another type of hardware. They are all the same brand of door, size of door. So why this was this way, I don't know. Maybe I didn't pay attention to the fine print on the packaging. That's probably what it was. So that was the second issue that we ran into. The third issue, kind of the bigger issue, was the doors didn't fit all the way correctly, and we ended up having to plane them down. And not just plane them down a little bit. Some of those doors required 5 passes with the planer. And we had to do this inside this man's bedroom with brand new carpet. We had to Dexter off his bedroom, and we couldn't do this anywhere else because it was raining outside. Then on top of that, we've got the freaking bum-ass roommate calling the customer, telling the customer that we're not using the right doors and the doors don't fit and the doors don't have knobs. Customer wasn't tripping on this because he realized, and I would be made to know, that his roommate is just a bum on a couch. And after I explained to the customer, which I also did in the proposal, telling him most likely the doors will need to be planed down to fit correctly. I outlined that in the proposal. So he was not tripping on anything. Weather, sizes, schematics, scenarios, all of these things played into just a cockamamie time of it yesterday. Not to mention there was a ton of mud work that needed to be done yesterday, which they wouldn't end up completing. And not to mention all of the doors would end up needing to be primed because of the water stains before being painted, which I wasn't even going to paint the doors at all. But we had to because of the fact that they ended up getting water stained. But the biggest issue, and I want to emphasize something real quick. I'm not bitching about this. I'm not tripping about this. And I'm also not mad at the guys about this, because they did as much as they could do. And then calamity would happen by the end of the day. By the end of the day, the customer was actually at the house with the bum-ass roommate. And allegedly, they were all just laughing and joking. And inside of this house has these tall ceilings. They're 16-foot ceilings all throughout the main living area of the home, the common area of this condo. There's also brand new laminate roll flooring down in those areas and then carpet in the bedrooms. They had a 16-foot extension ladder trying to reach the high spots and also a 10-foot A-frame ladder. And in an effort to protect the flooring, they put a drop cloth under one leg and then a sweater under the other leg. And Gene went up on this ladder to do drywall work. And for whatever reason, the guy Jason wasn't holding the ladder. I'm sure he was probably priming doors. And the bottom slipped out of the ladder and Gene came tumbling down with a full pan of mud that went everywhere, allegedly. Gene ended up getting busted up pretty decently from this, he explains to me, but he's okay. He says that the mud that got all over the place didn't do too much damage. They were able to clean everything up and that's that. But this situation could have been so much worse. Why this Stonerville dude is up on top of this ladder with frickin' skates at the feet in the form of a drop cloth and a frickin' sweater underneath of the feet of the ladder and no ground man is absolutely preposterous to me. This is that stoner frickin' IQ shit. But anywho, that's how yesterday went. So the mud work did not get completed. And today the job has to be done because I have to see the profit, the little profit that I'm going to see off of this job, which is going to be $600, which is going to bust down to $300 a day. That is not what I'm trying to be seeing anymore. I'm too good for $300 a day. I know that sounds crazy, but you got to dress for the job that you want. I need $500 to $1,000 a day, but I ain't going to shake a stick at $300. I want more. We all do. But I need to be able to ensure that I'm going to see that $300 a day at this point because we're just a little bit behind. I will be there all day today. So we should be able to rock and roll. We don't have the issue of the doors holding us up. The doors were completed yesterday. So all we have to do is a little bit more mud work, dry that shit, sand that shit. I'm going to Lowe's right now. I'm picking up 5-minute mud, 20-minute mud, a new shop vacuum bag, and then we need a little more door hardware because some of it got destroyed in the process of doing the doors. And we are going to rock and frickin' roll today. And I'm getting on top of the ladder. I just can't believe that Gene fell off a frickin' 16-foot ladder yesterday. I hate to say this, and I know this is going to sound horrible, but I'm mad at him for this. But I can't be mad at him for this. I got to be mad at myself for it. I'm grateful that he didn't get any more hurt than he did, but I'm only grateful because of the selfish implications that would have had he gotten more hurt. But I'm mad at him for the incompetence of not even being able to perform a ladder task and to also have this happen in front of the frickin' customer. Here I am trying to rebuild again, but at the same time, we looking like fools, and I can't have that. But again, not bitching, not tripping. I can't be mad at nobody but myself because Joe wasn't there. And had Joe been there, the first thing I would have said is, what the F are you doing up on a ladder with no ground man sitting on skates? Let's go to Lowe's. All right, anyways, leaving from Lowe's. Spent $80 in there that I didn't want to have to spend, but I did. And got what we need. And let's get this freaking job done. I had to buy door hardware, which I shouldn't have had to buy, but we broke a set of door hardware while trying to get this thing installed. Shit happens. Hopefully we can get this thing wrapped up today. I don't see why we shouldn't be able to. All hands on deck and just get this thing rocking and rolling. I never heard back from the windows that I had put the proposal in on, and that sucks. Maybe I'll hear something back. I mean, they asked for references, and they seem to have liked me, the mother and the son. They seem to have liked me when I went and met with them, so who knows? Maybe they didn't like the pricing. The price that I put together for the window replacement, you guys let me know if this number is no good or too low. I put it at The windows were about between, I think, $280 and $300 per window. We're gonna do 4 windows. And I put the install cost at $350 with an additional $100 in material cost. And I was gonna eat that $100 in material cost and just make it $350 for the install, which really would have been $250 for the install with an additional $100 buffer for materials such as framing that we may need to have done, insulating, weather stripping, or weather taping, whatever that stuff is called. Who knows? Maybe they didn't like that number. Maybe I gave them a Window World quote. Maybe we end up getting it. It's only been a day, after all. Maybe they're waiting on additional quotes. If they ask me for references, you better bet they're getting additional quotes. I believe that I came across professional. I certainly knew what I was talking about. I hope I was able to convey that to them, but you never know how you really sound to people. I ought to be wearing a body cam or Meta Ray-Bans with everything that I do, every encounter. That way we can dissect it together and see how Joe really sounds. Does he sound like a professional, or does he sound like he has no freaking clue what he's talking about? Anyways, aimless chit chat first thing this morning. Let's get over to the job site. It's 8:21. We're gonna be there by 9 o'clock. Let's go make a day of this and get this done. I forgot I could do this on this phone. I can record the back and the front at the same time, which is freaking insane. All right, this is some stuff that was already here when we got here, but we've been trying to tighten it up, and she's crazy right over there. No idea what's going on there. Here's some other stuff. Here's some other stuff. One of the bifold doors right here. And going up these stairs. Accent wall we got to get painted, but all of these are, you know, really tall ceilings. Really, really tall ceilings. Here's another bifold that we did. She works like a dream. She had to be.
Yes, ma'am. And I just went ahead and went to work, and I didn't get my stuff out of the room. I don't want to see it.
Getting there, getting there, getting there, getting there. Ladder guy. Gotta have a ground man for a ladder. Gotta have a ground man for a ladder. Oh! Sorry.
Yeah, we fuck her up.
All right, so there was an accent wall over there. We've got a first coat of paint on that. We are using the Painter's Edge, which is actually better than the Promar 400. And then we are gonna be doing the trim and doors, well, at least the doors that we replaced. And that is gonna be Promar 200. So Gene's over there painting it. And we're over here drying, drywall. Keep it rocking and roll. It's not even lunchtime yet, and we're almost done. All right, we haven't gotten up to here yet. We have not painted this wall at all. Still got the drywall repairs and paint on the ceiling from previous. Just want that noted. Old paint. Old paint. As we're just starting to cut this in and then roll it. Look at that. Ain't nothing like what a fresh coat of paint does. Beautiful color. Beautiful paint. Beautiful job. All right, we are pretty much all repaired up and sanded, pretty much.
Where's that block at? You got it?
In a good spot. It should be right over there. I thought I left it right there.
Can't really land this anywhere.
Where are you going?
I'm moving the couch so I can get that wall. And we can put a drop cloth down.
That wall needs to be painted. Why don't you get that wall?
Okay.
Hey there, good morning. Thursday morning as I begin this. Just dropping my son off and getting ready to get the show on the road and figure out what the hell we're getting into today. Today is a day of touch-ups, somewhat. So, a couple of things. We wrapped up the little condo / apartment job yesterday, but at what cost? What a pain in the ass, not even worth it type of a job that turned out to be. And, you know, broken record here, I can only blame myself. I made a profit. It ain't the profit that I wanted to make. I think I made $500 off of that job. I was looking to make $600. Whether it was $500 or $600, it doesn't matter because those numbers are just too damn low for 2 days worth of work, when in all actuality, it really should have been 3 days worth of work, and I should have, per usual, broken record, bid it higher. I'm learning every step of the way. I know that it may not seem like I am, but I need you to know. I did a live stream yesterday, and, you know, I came to this realization after umpteenth times that I cannot continue to bid work based on breakneck speed abilities to get this work done. If there were three me's out there, maybe it would be possible, but maybe not. And I don't want to make that sound like Gene and the guy Jason are, you know, incompetent idiots. They have their flaws just like I have mine and everybody else. But the fact of the matter is, if we're not doing a certain type of work every single day, we're not going to be able to do that at a breakneck speed. And a perfect example were those bifold doors that turned into a real son of a bitch. And out of 4 of them, it was only one, the last one, of course, that ended up being the worst one. I should have known better. The rough opening was 35 and a half or something like that. That rough opening was way too small, given the fact that when you buy a 36-inch door, really that's going to be like 35 and a half or some shit like that, maybe even less. But we planed that thing down so much that we actually lost some of the structural integrity of the door, where some of the dowels go that actually ride on the track. So when that took place, we had to frickin' cut out the weak shit, install some stronger, you know, backing. It was just a real son of a bitch. That last door was. And with that became time consuming. So the short of it is, yesterday I was in there losing my ever-loving mind. And for what? For $500 or $600, it doesn't even frickin' matter. The price was too low to start with. I think to the jobs that we've done for the real estate man, where I've been able to bid these jobs good and have the wiggle room to not have to be so high strung and worry about frickin' next to nothing. You know, with the real estate man, I was making a couple of $1,000 profit per job. Here, a couple of $100 per job. It's really not even worth it. The bare minimum has to be $1,000 profit, especially on a job that's multiple days long. So I owe Gene and Jason an apology first thing this morning for, you know, jumping down their shit so much yesterday. And they worked late yesterday. They didn't get out of there till 6:30. The job got completed and I paid them extra. I gave them $250 for the day. But I don't want to work like that. I don't miss that for nothing. That is exactly the way that it used to be with the apartment game. And I'm not going back to that. So anyways, we begin today going to do a final walkthrough over at that property. There's 2 vents, 2 registers that he wanted us to install. That was some extra. I'm going to go pick those up from Lowe's first thing this morning. I need to pick up 2 curtain rod holders, maybe a pack of them, for the big interior job that we did, because not only are we gonna go do the final walkthrough over here, but on that big interior job that we just wrapped up and I just got paid for, the real estate man said that shit looked phenomenal. He was super happy with everything. The only issue he had was the big curtains over the back windows. He wanted those put back up. I'm not even gonna entertain the idea that we still have those hangers and anchors for that. I'll just go buy a set. And then I've got a bunch of proposal work I gotta do today. Video work I'd like to get done today. I don't know if we're jumping into the next job just yet, which is gonna be going back and working with the real estate man again. He's got a list of things he wants us to do at a house that we have done a few houses ago. So might put that off for tomorrow. It probably will end up not being any earlier than tomorrow, because I've got to get the numbers together for him for that. And it's going to be a couple $1,000s, the work that he wants us to go in there and do, because it is some technical components. So that's about how we begin. I do have something kind of inspiring, motivating I want to share with you guys. I'm going to do so once I make this trip to Lowe's real quick. Maybe you'll find as much interest in this as I did, but a bit of a story to share with you. So stay tuned for that. Let me run into Lowe's, grab 2 returns and a pack of anchors for some curtains. Let's get this day underway and make sure that today is a much better day than how yesterday was. Oh my God, that is so great to just be able to hit that button and get right to filming. Hey, leaving from Lowe's. $91. Not really as much as I wanted to spend in there, or quite a bit more than what I wanted to spend, I should say. But no biggie. Those damn vents were $25 a piece, and the curtain hangers were $20 a pack, and there was only 2 in a pack, and these are some big ass curtains, so I figured I need at least 3, so I had to buy 2 packs of that. So 40 bucks on the callback. Hey, I'll take it. All right, let me share something. Oh shit, we ain't got but 2 bars on this, so I'm gonna have to be fast telling this story. I was editing a video yesterday. I was talking about this potential window job that was a potential. I haven't heard anything from this customer, so I'm assuming we probably didn't get this job. Anyways, I was mentioning how they wanted, oh God, the lighting just is off right there. I was mentioning how they wanted references and, you know, proof about window experience, which, you know, rightfully so, they should ask for that type of shit. So I had mentioned, well, you know, Flip 3, I replaced all of the windows in that house, and I went and I looked up Flip 3 to try to find more pictures than what I had, because usually I can find the old real estate pictures from when we sold the house. Tell me why. The house is for sale again right now. I believe every house that I flipped has been either sold or attempted to be resold since I flipped and sold them myself. But what's really interesting about this is they're asking $299,000. They just cut the price by $1,000. The house has been on the market for 68 days. 68 days the house has been on the market. 366 views, 18 saves. There are so many houses for sale right now. It is crazy. But the most important thing are, take a look at these pictures. Folks, I sold this house back in 2021. 4 years later, this house still looks as good as the day I sold it. Now, that speaks a lot to the person who bought the home and kept it in pristine condition. But look at those finishes and those fixtures. I mean, this house looks almost the same as when I sold it. And I want to read you the description on this. First of all, it says what's special about this house. The tags say modern fixtures, large lot, updated finishes, custom tile work, updated lighting, energy efficient Anderson windows. They're not Anderson windows. They're American Craftsman. That's what they are. They're replacement windows. Newer cabinets. So let me read you this listing. It says this 1930 home blends historic charm with modern updates. Renovated in 2021 and purchased in 2022, the owner took great care in the detail, including choosing custom blinds to match the white oak luxury vinyl plank flooring and the matching backsplash for the kitchen. They added that backsplash. I didn't have that when I sold it. I don't particularly care for the backsplash, but, you know, whatever. I don't think it's horrible. The home features energy-efficient Anderson windows, updated lighting, and a spacious layout filled with natural light. The kitchen includes newer cabinets, countertops, stainless steel appliances, and modern fixtures. Bathrooms feature custom tile work and updated finishes. The primary suite offers a flexible bonus room, ideal as a fourth bedroom, office, or nursery. Set on a large lot with an alley access to a detached garage. This home is located in a quiet historic district just minutes away from the interstate. It is a beautiful home. It was probably my favorite flip that we did. It came out freaking unbelievable. And to look at these pictures of how well they kept this home. First of all, shout out to the woman that bought this house from me, because she really did good to keep this thing in top-notch condition. But more importantly, yo, shout out to me and the freaking quality and craftsmanship that I be putting out there. For everybody who be like, Joe is a freaking hack and he don't know what he's doing or what he's talking about. Yo, let that I just showed you right there, that I did with me and a helper, really showcase to you the capability that I got. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I am a little bit, because I deserve to. It's seeing that has me wanting so much more. This lighting just got so horrible. I want so much more for myself and so much more for my business endeavors. So understand when I get mad over $500 and $600 freaking profits. And that, again, I'm putting myself in those situations, but I'm promising you, change is coming down the God blessed pike. You know, this profit that I'm seeing off of this job that we're walking this morning, this profit is so piss poor that I'm literally ready to take this little $500 or $600 and go put this shit on bubble craps or the roulette table at the casino and try to double it up. And if I lose it, oh well. It's worth the risk, because it's such not even worth it in the first place on the profit line, if that makes any sense. And guess what? There's the freaking casino right there. And I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to work. I should be going over there. Anyways, don't take me so literally sometimes. I am dabbling with the idea of just going and spending my day at the casino. Anyways, let's get to this job and see how things turned out. That's where we'll start. We're gonna leave this paint with you, if that's okay.
That's fine. That's fine.
We're gonna be coming back hopefully to do your kitchen, and regardless, you got the paint that matches everything in here. Yeah, it does.
I see one little piece of shit right here. I didn't even bring the paint up.
Oh, right here? No, this trim right here needs to be hit. And then that trim right there needs to be hit.
That's what I saw right there.
This was the party right here. This guy was the party. Oh yeah, they definitely got that better than it was. Good frickin' job, fellas. Yeah, That one was tough. Came out good. Good job on that other door.
Thank you.
Hey, to be honest, look,
Yeah.
this needs to be addressed right here.
All right.
This never got painted. And then up here, I got some flashes, so we do need to bring that 16 up here real quick.
All right.
16 ladder?
All right, 10:48 in the morning. Van's loaded up. We just did our final walkthrough. There was, a few things to touch up in there, and they got touched up. Spent, good. We got over here at 9:30, so we only spent an hour over here. The homeowner, the customer, he was here the whole time. He is such a cool, down-to-earth guy. He wants to use us for more. He was asking for business cards. His neighbors want to utilize us. So even though this wasn't a great, profit off of this job, we made a cool customer, a good customer that we feel like is probably going to be resourceful. And sometimes you got to take the good with the not so great and just learn from it. Overall, I know I could have bid this job more. I mean, he gave me all the context clues to basically let me know that that is true. But that's on me. I apologized first thing smoking as soon as we got here to the guys and let them know, hey, look, that's not the version of me I want to be giving to you. You guys are doing the best that you can, and sometimes I'm putting us in a unwinnable situation. So growth comes from this as well too. I made about $500 off of this job. Well, I did charge an extra $100 for those vents, so $500-600 is what I made off of this. The fact that we're seeing profits should be a win. There's plenty of times in the past we did jobs where I lost my ass on them, and with everything that we do, I'm trying to improve, not only with the bids, but the customer interactions, and also the interaction that I'm having with my guys. I do value them, even though, like I said, they have their flaws, they're potheads, but whatever, they work. And for the most part, I don't believe that they ever work stoned, which sounds crazy. All right, we're getting ready to go back over to the interior job. Get these guys to hang these curtains, and then I'm probably just gonna have them wrap up the day doing Christmas decorations at my house so that my son can see some lights, because Christmas is coming up for him, and also his birthday. My son's birthday is on December the 20th. Christmas is on December the 25th. Feel pretty good. Maybe not so much for the win department in the finances, but the win department in the team building exercise that this always is, and also the morale. Look at Joe. Joe's just a great guy. All right, let's move on. Touch-up work over here at the interior job. That's what's going on right here. And that's all it is hanging up that curtain right there. Looking at everything over here, everything came out well. So let me show you this right here. This was an area that we touched up, and it did not flash, thank God. I was very concerned about flashing with the touch-up work, given the fact that we had to go get brand new paint. I don't like that. I wish that would have got addressed. Do me a favor, clean off this front switch situation.
What you got?
That front switch looks like shit. What is going on right there? What the
We painted that. Somebody looks like somebody come out and put the wrong fucking paint on it.
What are you talking about?
Just this little cut in by this fucking receptacle.
Man, please address that.
I will.
That's just,
Yeah, it looks like
That's-
somebody hit the wrong paint with it.
that's the apartment shit is what that's reminding me of. We had a little bit of paint on the brick right here. That's what they grinded off. So cool.
I use U-Fall. I use that latex on that.
That's what I thought.
Oh, it looks good. So
That shit fucking is, that's the truth. That you got that. That's the truth. See how good it got it off that carpet?
I got a little spot right here I want addressed.
Okay.
I mean, he's happy with everything.
Over this?
Do we
Huh?
have the wall paint for that?
Yeah, the wall paint's in there. We got that gallon of wall paint that we got. Make sure you get the right paint.
What's that, Joe?
I said, use the right paint, please.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go take a look at the deck, because the deck is the next thing over here. That's what he wanted to see over here with these curtains to keep peeping Tom's prying eyes from looking in on things. For him to say that he's happy with everything, you got to imagine he's used to probably not so great, because I'm still seeing a couple of issues that I don't like. All right, let's look at this deck. We have looked at this thing numerous times. I don't know how to bid this, just given the fact that it is so much freaking piece work to do. And now it's covered in leaves, so that's not helping freaking none. This is destroy, you know. But we want to do the bare minimum here to get this thing the way that it should be. And yeah, man, all of this needs to be replaced. So this part here is deck boards, and this part here is 2x12s. Yes, indeedy, monstrosity game right there. And to be honest, and then down here, what is it? Yeah, 2x12, and they are all rotted to shit. Once we open this up to try to replace, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2x12 by 12s, maybe even 16. Once we open this up, man, it is going to be a freaking can of worms. So the good thing about doing these videos is that I'm able to take the notes from these back for my assessment on how to price this. Because not only do we need to do the repair work here, also resurfacing this is going to require a ton of resurfacing material. Jesus, I mean, what do you do with that? I don't know how to make that. That's custom right there. Oh my God, that whole thing is rotted out. Shoo! $1 million home. You want this shit to be right, but to be honest, she need to be replaced. And I mean, in a major, major way. All of this over here is okay, but you know, essentially this section here is destroyed. This section here is destroyed. Damn, you got a gas fitting out here for your stove. That's pretty dope. That's kind of rotted. You've got at least 3 sections that need some addressing, and that just literally fell off right there. Literally just broke off. So what is that guy? That's a 2x4 right there. So it's 2x4s on the bottom. And then we could fashion these lattice pieces out of 1x4s. We could rip those down and make those. That looks like it's probably just a 1x4 cut and, you know, split in half. That guy right there is completely rotted out. So some 2x4. I don't know what we could do there. I mean, do you Bondo that guy? You don't Bondo that. That's like a cavity. Couple of 2x4s, 1x4s. Deck boards galore. Deck boards you're gonna want, you know, 30. 30. Can you get a piece of casing in, please?
Yeah. I'm putting it in the back of the van, right?
No, leave it in here. Leave it in the house.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll leave it right in the window where it came out.
Put something down there, or don't. Just clean that up. Yeah, I would say 30 deck boards. the 2x12s. You're gonna need a stringer down here, whatever's going on down there. We won't even know that till we open it up. Probably, oh shit, at least, I'd say probably 5 to 8 2x4 by 10s. Probably 10, maybe, yeah, let's start with 10 1x4s. I don't know what this is. This piece right here would need to be replaced, and that looks like some built shit, and it goes over there too, like some custom built shit. And then to resurface all of this, then you've also got it broke off right there where it needs to be replaced. Could we miter this ourselves? We'd need to rip this down on the table saw, whatever this is. That's a 4x4 split in half and ripped down. Can you find that at the wood mill? I wonder. Couple of, oh, you know what? Well, there's a piece right there. And he wanted it cleaned out underneath of there. Looked like somebody came over here and might have started to try to toy with the idea. That's how the box is supposed to look. Can we reuse the old? We certainly would try. We would certainly try to use that old stuff to rebuild this box, because all of that is custom. That's all custom too. All right, so what's the price? With the mentioned items in terms of materials, I'm gonna take this guy with me just so I can shop this at the wood mill. Maybe it's possible. Hey, do me a favor, throw this guy in the back of my truck. Did y'all touch up them spots?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, cool, we're getting out of here.
Is that all you need from back there? Is there anything else needs to go to the van?
Nah, I just need to try to find that particular piece.
He put the bag on
Okay,
the hardware
perfect.
back in there.
Perfect. All right, I'm ready. All right, I've seen enough. Alrighty, just leaving from the big interior job and put together that price. There's the neighbor that wants to buy the house. Oh, he ain't even paying us no mind. Yeah, real estate man said he bullshitted. Look at this exterior work taking place. I want to yell out the window and be like, yo, it's 30 degrees outside. I hope y'all are using latitude. It is too cold to be painting outside. It really is. And I seen the brush he was using. He was using a little 1-inch brush. Oh God, that's that paid by the hour brush. So anyways, we looked at the back deck. That's gonna be the next job that the real estate man wants to jump on over at that house. Price is gonna be $4 grand. I'm hopeful that we get that job done with $1,000 in materials and $1,500 in labor at the most, and then I can make at least $1,500, and that job be a 3-day job. 3 days. Yeah. I'm hopeful that's how that would go. I think the real estate man is probably going to think that's just way too high, but it is what it is. I don't really want to do that for anything less, and I know that it's going to be a can of worms. Solid stain that we're going to be using on that to resurface with is, we're going to need 5 gallons of that. That's already well over $250 just in solid stain. 30 deck boards, probably $300 or $400 right there. We might be $1,500 in materials. $4,000 is a hell of a deal. I got to see, can I swing it for that? What would you put that work at? And to build a deck like that, of that size and magnitude, look, you're going to spend every bit of 20 grand. Every bit, if not more. Told the fellas go take a lunch break. Today's going to be a little bit of an easy day. And then I'm going to have them meet me at my house, and they are going to install Christmas lights. And I need to get Christmas lights. And I want my house dolled up really good for Santa Claus. I want my son to be able to see some freaking Griswold type shit. Yeah. I might even just go ahead and hit Lowe's before getting back to the house, just to make sure I really got everything needed. Ding, 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 ding-a-ling, ding, ding, ding-a-ling, ding. Hey, just leaving from Lowe's again. I should have went and returned those curtain rod holders, but I didn't feel like it. By the time I thought about it, I was already in the store. And what you can't see sitting in my son's car seat is all sorts of garland with the lights in it. And then we got some Christmas lights on the floor. And then I'm gonna go up into the attic and explore and find some more. Oh, I got a little cut on the back of my ear. I think my son scratched me. Yeah, man, we're gonna have the house all dolled up. Man, Christmas stuff is expensive, man. You could spend thousands of dollars on decorations. And I ain't got it like that. But I did just spend $200 up in Lowe's on Christmas attire. Got to have that house decked out. Only one of my neighbor's house has lights on it right this second. And who knows, maybe with the guys being out front of the house doing the lights, maybe some neighbors would want to get some lights installed. Who knows? Speaking of potential other work, I got to wrap this up real quick because I got to reach out to somebody else. I forgot about that. All right, made it back to the house. Look at these freaking crackhead contractors next door. Look at this. Oh, goofies. Sorry. I am a bona fide hater when it comes to neighbors getting work done on their house, and they don't use me. But none of the neighbors talk to me anyways, and I don't know why. All right, Christmas lights are ready to go, and it's time to explode. This is my old office that turned into my wife's office, and there's my son's Halloween Halloween costume. All right, we got to see what's up in the old Griswold attic. Up here. Whoa. Hey now. I'm seeing the Christmas stuff. Not ready. All right, got some lights right here. I got a PS5 for sale I don't never play. Where is the Christmas stuff? There it is. Way over there. All right. Whew, my attic, man. It's big, it's spacious. It could have been something. I've got some insulation coming down in here too, which lets me know that I've got a leak. And I do have roof leaks going on, probably right there as well too. Or it's rats. It's one or the other. We are going to be doing the roof at this house very, very soon. And you're going to see how cheap you can do a 2,400 square foot home's roof. Yeah, man. We're going to do it up on the roof game. All right. Whew, it's a mess. Tell you what, we're just going to go with that string of lights for the time being. I don't feel like going through all that, because if we do have those outside lights, probably buried. All right, but we got these though.
Look at your Christmas lights. Look, ready? Oh my goodness! Look over here. So thank you, Daddy.
Thank you, Dad.
The Christmas trees